Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host, and it is a Tuesday, July the 8th. And it's a very hot day outside. Of course, it's, summertime, so it's going to be hot, but it is a very hot day outside. The heat indices is very high. Lots of sun happening out there, but we are expecting a little bit of rain. We'll look at that in just a little bit. If you are watching on our website or through our mobile app or even on our your smart TV, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're watching on any of our social streams, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, we appreciate you watching there. And I always say, don't forget, you can always post any questions, thoughts, questions, suggestions, anything like that in the comments section during this interactive newscast, WLBT Plus. Before we get into the news, we're going to take a look outside. We're going to look down over Flowood right now, courtesy of our Sheraton Sky Cam. It's looking a little hazy out, but I think that's maybe just the camera out there. But it is lots of sunshine. Got some guys out on the golf course down there. You can see them right here at the bottom of your screen. Yeah, they're enjoying a stifling hot day out on the golf course. But no, it is looking good outside for right now. Maybe some clouds starting to roll in as we get those afternoon showers that are typical with summertime. But for right now, it's looking good. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the news now. First bit of news is we have information about one person being in custody after a late night shooting that happened. So this happened last night near the intersection of First Avenue and Broad Street. Jackson police say the man who was shot is expected to recover. At this time, they have not released any names. They're saying their investigation is continuing in this shooting, and we will bring you more info as we get it in. And police are investigating a stabbing that has happened in Jackson. Jackson Police Department says that a man was stabbed at home on Colonial Drive off of Terry Road in South Jackson. The officers say they do have a suspect in custody, but that person is claiming the victim was trying to break into property owned by the suspect. Their investigation does continue, and as we receive updates on that, we will pass them along to you. And there was a house fire in South Jackson, and Jackson Assistant Fire Chief Patrick Armand confirms that a firefighter was injured in the fire. So this is the location of the fire. It was right off of McDowell Road. They say that the call came in around 5 o'clock this morning at this home. Was located off of Lakewood Drive at McDowell Road. So a Jackson firefighter was seen on a stretcher being taken, being put into an ambulance, rather, as a result of the fire. He was taken to the University of Mississippi Medical Center to be treated. Armand says the firefighter fell through the floor of the abandoned home while trying to put out the flames, resulting in him injuring his back. He is expected to be treated and released from the hospital today if he has not already been released.
When you get to a fire like this, as happened this morning, you don't know what's in there. It could be a situation where you had drug addicts inside the house and they may be using needles that they leave spread out. And see, when we go in, a lot of times you go in on your hands and knees, so anything could be on that floor. Any type of hazards can be there that could potentially hurt you. So it's very dangerous.
Armand said that no one was in the home at the time of the fire, and the cause of the blaze is still under investigation. But once we receive the info, we will update you. And Capitol Police are continuing to investigate after two women were shot and killed leaving a nightclub on Sunday. So the shooting happened at Wilmington Street near Fox Den Elite Nightclub. Police say 32-year-old Raquel Freeman and 34-year-old Talisa Holder were both shot and killed. A makeshift memorial is growing in front of the nightclub for the victims. There's purple balloons out there, flowers, everything really being placed out there. Chief Bo Lucky says that they are following up on several leads in this case.
A lot of people have come forward with information. We are running down all of this information. We are running down all these leads. We do feel very positive about getting a very quick resolution on this.
It's still unclear what led to the shooting, but if you do have any information on that, you are asked to contact Capitol Police Department. And a woman charged in a Friday homicide in Jackson is now in custody. She was taken into custody in Adams County. We actually brought this to you, broke it to you yesterday during WLBT Plus. But Aziza Young was taken into custody before 3:30 yesterday afternoon. So if you take a look on your screen here, excuse me, let me get this video pulled up for you guys. Here we go. This is her on your screen when she was taken into custody. Adams County Sheriff Travis Patton says she was arrested at her home. She is accused of killing 45-year-old Adrian Triggs. And that deadly shooting happened on AME Logan Street Friday afternoon. It was one of two separate homicides on the 4th of July holiday. The police say that this was a domestic violence situation. After shooting Triggs, investigators say Young then tried to remove the body from the scene. However, her attorney refutes those claims and maintains that she was defending herself from an abusive boyfriend. Her attorney gave police her address so that she could be taken into custody. And according to her attorney, she was trying to get in touch with police to tell them everything that happened. However, Chief Joseph Wade with Jackson Police Department says that is not the case. After shooting Triggs, Chief says that Young then stole his car and fled the scene. But it's what she's accused of doing with Triggs' body that has police alarmed.
And it was very calculating the way it was carried out, and very sad to hear how it was carried out. Talking to my investigator, she did drag the body. She attempted to move the body. That's based on witness accounts. So if you're defending yourself after you took his life, call us, call someone. Don't try to drag the body and move the body somewhere to fit some narrative you're trying to put together.
My client is the one who called the police to save Mr. Adrian Triggs' life. She called the ambulance to bring them there so he could have a chance to live. This is an unfortunate incident, but it's not one in which my client is responsible for.
This wasn't the only homicide police investigated on the 4th of July. 23-year-old Gabriel King was shot and killed at a gas station on Cooper Road, and 4 men have been charged in that killing. 23-year-old Daniel Taylor, 24-year-old Cameron Russell, who you see here on your screen, and a pair of 17-year-olds were arrested. Jaquavian Clark and Justin Taylor. So Clark has been charged with murder and was denied bond. The other 3 are charged with accessory after the fact. So as we receive more information on this case, we will, of course, update you on it. And speaking of Jackson Police Department, a major milestone for the police department, one that 3 on Your Side has been pushing for to make sure you get a full picture of the city's crime concerns. JPD has now joined the ranks of more than half of Mississippi's law enforcement agencies in being NIBRS compliant. So in this story that you'll only see here on a WLBT, NIBRS is short for National Incident-Based Reporting System. So what that does is it deals with how crimes are categorized and tracked. JPD will now use this reporting process to send its crime stats to the state and to FBI each month. Will be the first time in 5 years that such information has been made available to the public. Chief Joseph Wade pledged more than a year ago that he was going to make sure it happened.
It is connected to our federal funding. It's connected to how many FBI agents, DEA agents, U.S. Marshals, ATF are assigned to Jackson. They're not going to go by just Chief Wade asking for help. They're going to go by a NIBRS number. So I'm so excited that we've crossed that bridge. We've gotten this behind us, but it's not over. We have to maintain this certification every single month.
What this also means is that very soon you're going to be able to see those numbers for yourself. We're going to continue to follow the tracking of these numbers and the system that is in place now, them being compliant, and we will continue to report on this. Looking here at our social stream, we have a lot of you guys tuning in. Shakia saying hello to everyone. Brenda tuning in from McGee. Hello, Brenda. Rachel's tuning in from Gulfport. Lakeisha is watching here in Jackson. Sonia watching from Morton. We got Clyde tuning in from northeast of Pennsylvania. Lily is in Scott County, and Robazine, love that name, is watching from right here in Jackson. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it, and let me know. I appreciate you let me know where you're watching from. So thank you guys for watching. So we have some exciting news for AMR. They're adding some dashboard cameras that are powered by artificial intelligence to its fleet of ambulances here in central Mississippi. So the system uses smart cameras to spot trouble like road hazards or sudden lane changes by other vehicles. And then it alerts the ambulance driver to take action to avoid a crash. AMR says early testing showed big improvements in safety, and installation across all of AMR ambulances and support vehicles is underway, with completion expected by the end of summer. I got some more of you guys tuning in. Latanya, is tuning in from Clinton. Laureen watching from Lexington. And Shauna in Newton County. Hey, Shauna, I love Newton County. We used to be over that way a whole lot. And let's see, we got Boss Lady tuning in from Rolling Fork, and Melissa says hello to everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. Well, now we're going to turn to the city of Brandon, where they are considering moving a Confederate statue that currently stands in the middle of downtown Brandon. So last night, several residents voiced whether they were for or against the statue before the mayor and board of aldermen. A 7-foot tall Confederate monument that was put up almost 120 years ago as part of a project spearheaded by the United Daughters of the Confederacy. Some want to see the statue relocated to show that the city is moving forward, while others believe that the statue should stay right where it is to show the city's history.
Brandon Middle School student population is approximately 37% Black. I'd have a hard time looking at those students and telling them that I think they should drive past a statue that sounds a lot like it is glorifying the Confederate cause.
It's a statue to honor people from Rankin County and from this city who answer the call for freedom, to be able to choose for themselves how to govern themselves.
So there is no word on when or if the mayor and board of aldermen will make a decision on the relocation of the statue. We will let you know and continue to follow this and bring you any updates. So make sure you keep it tuned in here to WLBT as we will update you on air and online. And some developing news, or news that was developing this morning, and trial is now underway. A jury has been seated in the Rudy Warnock and Cleveland Anderson trial. So this comes after attorneys questioned potential jurors for much of the day yesterday. Opening arguments began at 9 this morning at the federal courthouse in downtown Jackson. We do have one of our digital reporters in the courtroom as the trial is going on. The court records show Warnock, a former Canton city engineer, and Anderson, a former CMU commissioner, are facing the federal corruption charges. So it's in connection with a bribery scheme that happened in 2016 and 2017. To keep getting updates on this, make sure, again, you are tuned into WLBT, have our mobile app downloaded so you can get notifications, and we will be updating you on on how this trial progresses and what happens to it. Like I said, this happened in 2016, 2017. It's been a long time, but now they are in court, and it began this morning. So just keep it tuned in here, and we'll keep you updated on the new developments in that case. And a special election has been, the time for it has been set. It's going to be held in November for the Senate seat that was vacated by John Horn when he left the legislature to become mayor of Jackson. So the District 26 seat represents parts of Hinds and Madison counties. Governor Tate Reeves set the special election for November the 4th. Potential candidates must submit their paperwork by August 21st. And if no one wins a majority of the votes on November 4th, a runoff would be held on December 2nd. So just as soon as we thought that elections was over here, it is not. We have a special election that will be held to replace Mayor Horn's seat in the legislature. Again, that is going to be held November 4th. And if it is something that you are wanting to run in, be a candidate in the special election, paperwork must be submitted by August the 21st. So now we are going to look at Texas real quick. I know I like to keep our content here and what we talk about on WLBT Plus at 1. I like to keep this local, but I really think the travesty and the devastation that is happening in Texas deserves a moment to be looked at so that we can remember to not only pray for those who lost loved ones, but those that are still missing, and the first responders and volunteers and search and rescue workers that are there searching to hopefully find survivors in this devastating flood. We now know that the death toll from that flooding in Texas is up to as of this morning was up to 104, and it could be over that. And they are continuing to search for more victims. So far, crews have found the bodies of 84 people, including 28 children, which is just devastating on any level. So search crews and helicopters and on the ground continue to comb through debris piles, checking every log and every obstacle for signs of life. Other crews are beginning the slow work of clearing roadways and riverbanks, but there is still so much more to overcome for the people of Texas.
So what that means is they're running into a lot of technical challenges with terrain, with water, even potentially, with weather, in the rising fields. We've talked about this before. Volunteers stay out of the way, because if we start getting weather reports and all the other complications that are out there, we then have to pull off of those search and rescue missions to be able to communicate to those volunteers to get off, to make sure that they don't become victims themselves.
President Donald Trump did sign a major disaster declaration for Kerr County. He is expected to visit the state on Friday to meet with local officials and survey the damage. Seeing here, Craig Brown saying that he is from Jackson, living in Austin, and it's been crazy. I imagine it has been, Craig. I can't. Every day I see the numbers going up as far as the victims that have been found, and especially for the children that were at Camp Mystic there. It is heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. And I know I, for one, definitely kept Texas, the city or the town, the state of Texas, and the people that were along the Guadalupe River who were affected by these floods and their families in my prayers, for sure, as I'm sure so many of you are doing the same. Let's see, Brenda here saying that she is praying for Texas. Dorothy Evans praying for Texas. Yes, I think that is awesome. We are one country, and even though that it seems so far away, we still need to have love and compassion for our fellow Americans as they go through something so devastating. So definitely our thoughts and prayers are with them. And we will continue to keep you updated on WLBT.com or through our mobile app and on air with any updates in the search for those that are missing in the aftermath of those floods in Texas. Before we take a look at our forecast here in the capital city area and also take a look at a cold case that is getting some attention in Columbia, Mississippi, let's hear from our sponsors at Jackson Water.
Hey Jackson, curious about our water system? Join the Jackson Water Academy to get the inside scoop on our water and sewer operations. 3 sessions, 3 months, and a whole lot of hands-on know-how. You'll even get a behind-the-scenes tour of the O.B. Curtis Water Treatment Plant. So if you're ready to dive in, head to jacksonwater.com/Water Academy or give us a ring at 601-500-5200 to apply. But hurry, spots are going fast.
And again, thanks to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. Let's look at our current temperatures outside right now. We are sitting in the upper 80s, which doesn't sound bad, right? It doesn't sound like it's that bad. It may even kind of sound a little pleasant out there. But when we look at what their feels like temperatures are, they are at 97 degrees right now. So we are looking at almost a 10-degree difference between the actual temperature and what it feels like. It feels like it is very hot outside, very, very hot. So if you're working out there, make sure that you are staying hydrated and getting shade and rest, maybe even air conditioning if possible, as you can. When we look at our current radar, we do have some rain all over our viewing area: Atala County, Copiah, Claiborne, Wilkinson, Emmett counties, a little bit over in Rankin County, but not a lot. But we are expecting those pop-up showers through the afternoon, which is just a typical summer pattern here in Mississippi. Over the next 12 hours, you can see our rain chances go up as then they drop off into the overnight hours. The highest percentage chance of rain is during the 5 o'clock drive going home. So make sure that you are safe on your way home. And our next 7 hours, our 7 days, we have a really increased chance of rain on Thursday, looking at 70%, and then 50% on Friday. And then those chances drop off to about normal over the weekend. But to get a in-depth and more detailed look at the forecast, to be here at 2:30 for the First Alert Weather Team, so they can give you the full timing of when you can expect that rain, at least what we can tell for now, looking ahead this many days ahead. But yeah, 2:30 today, our First Alert Weather Team will be here to give you that more in-depth look at your forecast. So make sure you're here with them then. Now we're going to Columbia, Mississippi, where a family is still searching for answers when they're saying it's 5 years after a Columbia man was found shot to death in his home. So Timothy McDaniel died from a single gunshot wound to the chest, but no one has ever been arrested for this shooting. Columbia police say they do have a person of interest, and the state crime lab ruled McDaniel's cause of death as undetermined. His daughter says that she is hopeful for someone to come forward with more information about what happened to her father.
I wanted his memory to stay alive, and I wanted justice for him. And I feel like the police need a little motivation. The Attorney General's office need a little motivation. I'm sorry. Everybody needs a little motivation and reminder that he's still unsolved.
If you have any information on the death of Timothy McDaniel, call Columbia Police or Crime Stoppers. Again, he was shot in his home 5 years ago, and that case is still open. Coming back here to the Jackson area, we have some new educational opportunities that are underway for Jackson public school students during these the last few summer weeks here. A nonprofit ministry called We Will Go is offering literacy training, swimming lessons, Bible study, and educational field trips for children. The program continues for 6 weeks. More than 100 low-income Jackson public school students participate 5 days a week. Children have a healthy meal there. They attend those field trips weekly and read in the library. And according to We Will Go, only 26% of children in Jackson are proficient readers.
So we do a real assessment to see if that child is improving the entire summer. And then at the end of camp, they get an award, that they've seen improvement. They get an award that they learned how to swim. So there's some markers there to help encourage our families and encourage that we're moving in the right direction.
The program has just a few more weeks left before they go into the new school year. Organizers say there is an 11% boost in student reading comprehension. This summer, there was 105 students there gaining valuable skills through swim safety lessons and literacy development. And speaking of school starting back, if you are on the hunt for those school supplies or new clothes for the new school year, well, weekend is your weekend to get out there and shop. So it is one of the biggest shopping weekends here in the state of Mississippi. Is the sales tax free holiday, or the sales tax holiday here in Mississippi. So it begins this Friday. You don't have to pay sales tax on things like school supplies, individual items of clothing and shoes if the item costs less than $100. This is the second year for the holiday has been held during this time of the year, because so many schools are now starting back a little bit earlier this year. So of course it's going to be on Friday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. And a lot of stores out there will have other discounts on top of that sales tax free those sales tax free holidays where you can really maximize your savings. So if you are needing to get those school supplies, or maybe you're wanting to buy school supplies to donate to one of the drives and the many school supply drives that are happening around the area, this weekend is a great time to do that. Save a little money, maybe able to get a little more school supplies than you normally would because you're saving a little bit. So again, that's this weekend, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Mississippi sales tax holiday. And guys, that is going to be it for WLVT Plus today. I thank all of you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful day. First Alert Weather Team will be here at 2:30, and then I will be back tomorrow at tomorrow morning for Top 3 from WLBT, and then tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock for WLBT Plus. I hope to see you then. I hope you have a great day. Stay hydrated if you're outside, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.